Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's 9:30, June 29, 2021 on this stifling day. And a lot to talk about. We do have some severe weather upstate going on. You can see here on the satellite these thunderstorms that have really blossomed up. And I guess that is what we'll get to first. Talking about some of this. This is mainly upstate. This is not in our area, but there are... You can see some pretty intense thunderstorms in parts of northwestern Pennsylvania and upstate New York. And there's one intense cell that's right now up around... there's a place called Pine Plains. Interesting. It is up in the, eastern New York, or it's going into western Massachusetts. So this looks like a severe thunderstorm there that's going to have some warnings with it. And plenty of lightning with these storms, too. You can see plenty of lightning here on the lightning map. But again, these aren't in our area, so I'm not really going to focus too much on it. But I figured let me get it over with before we move on. So let's go to the current temperatures outside right now. And we'll first start with the weather and hazards map. And you will see here that we have temperatures generally in the upper 70s across Long Island. We're under that excessive heat, the excessive heat warning for much of New Jersey. Monmouth was added, but I don't know why they didn't add the shore area. But I think the whole state of New Jersey needs it. I don't know why they didn't add Ocean County. But temperatures across Long Island generally in the upper 70s to around 80 degrees. And in my alley, I checked, I put a thermometer out there. It says 83. And it's still climbing, so it might go up a little more. Probably not going to get below 80 in the alley tonight. Now, much better on the South Shore, which is where I was earlier. It's in the mid-70s there. 74 at Merrick and 73 at Long Beach. So much, much better on the South Shore. What can I say? Much better on the South Shore. And you can see here you're 77 at Farmingdale. But you see the dew point 70. So it's very humid out there. Islip is reporting 77 with a dew point of 72. And then we also have an air quality alert in effect, too. So that we also have that, too, in effect. 75 at West Hampton. Let me go to the Weather Service website to go to the latest here. So we have the excessive heat warning for New Jersey. That continues through tomorrow, I believe. Now, excessive heat warning till 8 p.m. Wednesday. So, yeah. And then for us, the heat advisory, which remains in effect until 8 p.m. on Wednesday as well. All right, and then we have an air quality alert, which is going to be in effect from 11 a.m. Wednesday to 11 p.m. Wednesday as well, according to this. So you see right there, air quality alert in effect because of bad air quality. With this heat, obviously, that's what you're going to get. And look at that, 90 degrees still in Central Park right now. There's some records set today. Let's go to the Twitter here for the National Weather Service. Hottest day of 2021 so far. New York City, Central Park hit 95, JFK hit 90, LaGuardia hit 98. That's a record. Islip hit 88. Still no heat wave at Islip. See, much of Long Island is missing out on the really bad heat, but it's like where I live, it's like I'm almost living in the city. It's just, it's almost getting too hot for me to live here anymore. It really is. Again, just walking back from the bus stop tonight, I just felt like I was going to drop. There's absolutely zero breeze here. It's like the air is like just horrible out here in Mineola. Newark, another record set there, 102. So Newark, Jersey would get above 100. Bridgeport, 94, with a record there set as well. So Bridgeport was 94, but Islip was 88 again. Further east you go in Suffolk County and on the South Shore, you're going to avoid a lot of the heat. But here in Central Nassau, you'll see when we go over these high temperatures in just a minute, you will see that we got up to the 90s today, and it's still 91 at LaGuardia. It's still 90 at Central Park, so the city's really holding in the heat. I guess it's not as bad as the city because it's 90 there versus 80, but I'd rather be on the South Shore where it's in the 70s. 75 at JFK, and then going to Jersey. Still in the 90s there. Let's see what we got here. Got 80s still. Toms River downtown, Toms River 81, Lakehurst 83, and even right on the water there, even right on the beach, South Seaside Park, still 80 degrees. Not much of a sea breeze there at the Jersey Shore. Though some sites seem to think Manasquan is saying 70, or Seagirt. I don't know if I believe that. So let's go take a look. And I also want to look at the marine observation, too, as well. Water temperature up now to 68 degrees. So the water temperatures are rising above normal, no doubt, with all this humidity around. So let's go look at the high temperatures today. Let's go to the... oh, yeah, I wanted to show you the dew... We'll just throw the dew points in here just so you get an idea of how humid it is. Dew points in the low to mid-70s. All right? So, threw that in there. All right, let's go to the high temperatures today. Looking at the map here. So you get an idea of what our high temperatures were. So, yep. Carl Place, 95 degrees. There you go. So, look at that. That's what we were dealing with in the middle of the island. 95, all right? This is acting all messed up here. Come on. I don't know if this weather site is just overloaded and why it's being so damn slow tonight. Just get the spinning circle. All right. So 95 Carl Place, 95 Hicksville, Woodbury, I should say. Farmingdale, it's North Babylon. I think Farmingdale got to... This is Farmingdale, got to 91. Islip got up to 88. Shirley got up to 88. And on the South Shore, you can see it's a lot cooler. They had 80s. They avoided the 90s. But for much of the central part of Nassau County, even North Merrick, you got into the 90s. All right, mid-90s. And then the North Shore, some upper 90s. So 96 in Northport, 99 in, well, that's one site in Northport, and then 99 in another site. 90, I don't buy this 106. I don't think that's accurate. But the 100 degrees in Locust Valley is entirely possible. Let's take a closer look at Port Washington and see if there are any records there. We got a 95 in Great Neck, so probably upper 90s there. And then cooler as you head out to the East End, obviously. If you're out to the East End here, you'll see it was much cooler. 84 at West Hampton and 85. Again, that 105 is definitely wrong. 85 in East Hampton. So much cooler out on the Forks, obviously. You're away from New Jersey. That southwest wind is a longer fetch over the ocean. And if you were in a place like Nantucket, let's see, 81, only 81 at Block Island. Let's see what it was in Nantucket. Let's really make you jealous here. Look, they don't even have a heat advisory in effect. 86 there. But there was some 90s reported. 95 on the North Shore of the Cape. But if you're on the South Shore of the Cape, 84. This is Martha's Vineyard. Nantucket only got to 81. So, yeah, much better. But everybody's still dealing with the humidity. Now we go further west where it was much, much hotter into the hellhole known as New Jersey. We already went over the highs in the city, which were records. So you can see, 100 at Harrison, 102 at Newark. There's the 102 there. Some parts of Brooklyn got up to 100 as well. 96 at Staten Island. 98 in Edison. So let's go further south into New Jersey and see what it was like in Toms River. Let's see if we can see some 100-degree readings here. 95 at Lakehurst. Didn't quite make it there. 96 in downtown Toms River. We'll look at the West Desert. We'll see, because the West Desert isn't on here. But you got some upper 90s, pretty close to 100 in Brick, but not quite there as far as the highs go. For that area. And then, of course, you have the temperatures out west, which we're still dealing with the heat out there as well. We'll go back to the observations here and show you the heat that's going on out west just briefly here. And that's still going. However, there's been more of a cool down in Portland now. But you can see that the cool down, I'll say they're around 90, which is still way hotter than it's supposed to be. But you still got the heat going in the eastern parts of the state, east of the Cascades, 111 at Yakima. Absolutely insane kind of temperatures, and this goes all the way into Canada, this kind of heat, 103, and even up into Canada, Edmonton. Kamloops, 115 in Kamloops. It's never supposed to get that hot there. It's got to be some all-time records being broken in Canada right now, I'm sure. We'll have to look and see, try to do a little research toward the end of this video, but I want to kind of focus on our weather right now. So let's go and look at the Wonder Map. Just deciding not to work again. Let's try this again. A lot to cover in this weather update. So, again, much better on the South Shore. If you're on the South Shore, man, Mid 70s is a lot better than I'm saying. I mean, I wouldn't say it was very comfortable because it was still humid there, but there was a breeze and it was bearable. When you get to Mineola, it's just stifling. Still around 80 degrees. And so let's go look at the Carl Place station. So get an idea of what it was like here in the middle part of Nassau County. Still 80 degrees. You know it's bad. So 94.7 was the high. And we're in the 90s pretty much by 11 a.m. and then stayed in the 90s pretty much until almost before 5. So not much of a cool down here at all. We never got a sea breeze. No sea breeze here whatsoever. It's funny, I hear Samantha Ojiri on News 12 saying highs in the upper 80s to around 90. No, mid 90s in the middle of the county. She's forecasting for the South Shore. It's like, you're not even, she is such a bad, I may have to call her out in a separate video because I'm fed up with the misinformation she's spreading. 71 and Long Beach, of course. And if you go and you look at Long Beach here, for instance, where it's beautiful, 71 degrees. Let's see how they were today. Right on the South Shore. Look at that. They didn't even get into the 80s today. They're only in the mid 70s. That's the place to be. I'm telling you, that is the place to be. That's where you get that sea breeze right off the ocean. If you go a little further inland, let's go take a look at some stations that were a little further inland on the South Shore. Let's see if we can use. Let's use this one here. This is Belmore, Central Belmore. Let's see what it was in Central Belmore today. Well, still got the low 90s there, Central Belmore, and then it dropped. But they did drop. They got a sea breeze by later in the day, and it did drop into the mid 80s. I think this is a little off that reading. I think that's a little too warm, honestly. It goes a little cooler than that. Let's use this Seaford one. Some stations they're not in the shade. Some people don't put their thermometers in the shade properly, and they're supposed to be in the shade. So that's where you get a false reading. So yeah, upper 80s is more like it. So upper 80s on the South Shore of Nassau, a little more inland, and you can see by the afternoon it started dropping, and then it started dropping into the 70s as it got later on, and upper 70s toward the evening. Again, much better than what we were dealing with, which was still in the upper 80s here. As you head further east, obviously it's better. We can go look at Babylon. Babylon Village. Let's see how they did. See how they did with the sea breeze. They probably had a better sea breeze over there. Yeah, they only got into the mid 80s. So that's a lot nicer. Look at those dew points, though. Still pretty oppressive dew points. Upper 70s. That's pretty bad. I mean, it's not even July yet. All right, let's go to North Patchogue. Well, I'm sure he did a lot better. I'd much rather be in North Patchogue than Mineola right now in this heat. I'll tell you that, because I don't even think he hit 90. Let's see. Canaan Lake. Let's see. Got into the upper 80s. 88, 89 points. Just almost made it to 90. Almost. Very close, but again, that sea breeze came in. 4 o'clock, dropped the temperatures down to the low 80s and then the low 70s. I mean, I'm not saying it was comfortable outside, but it was certainly a lot better than it was, here. And then if you go to that Bellport Yacht Club, oh boy, that's a nice place, because I bet you it barely got above 80 there. Let's see, 74.9 right now. Let's see what they got up to. It didn't even hit 80. 77 degrees. That was it. Oh man. Amazing. We're on the same island, I'll tell you. It's totally different when you're on the South Shore. That's the place to be. Meanwhile, if you go inland, let's go to Northampton. This is in the heart of the Pine Barrens. But it was hot there. And then we'll go to that other place. 76.3. Let's see what it was up to there. Yeah, it got close to 90 there. Close to 90. So they're and it's a little cooler over there. If you go further north, toward Lake Panamoco, it's going to get hotter here. Let's go over here. Yeah, Ridge. Let's see what it was like in Ridge today, because I bet it was pretty hot. That's further north, so I bet you it was in the 90s there. Oh, yeah, mid-90s. Station may be reading a little high. Yeah, there's no way it was that warm. That station's reading a little high. Let's go to Wading River. So let's see what this is considered waiting. It goes from mid-90s, so pretty brutal over there. It's pretty brutal on the North Shore of Suffolk County. And that's why that heat advisory is now, actually the heat advisory is now for southwestern Suffolk as well, for tomorrow as well. So pretty hot, but again, we can go to the other extreme. Actually, let's see how it was in the North Shore. Look at that. Now here you are. If you were in Port Washington, it would still be. Port Washington's a nice place, but look at how hot it is. 86 still at this hour. So it's a real hellhole in the summer. And let's see what they got up to today. 95. So pretty hot, and they were in the 90s most of the day. So even worse than Mineola. But we can go even worse than that. Let's go to New Jersey. Let's go to the West Desert. Let's go here. It's still pretty warm there too as well. Not cooling off there tonight. 81. So still 81 degrees. Dew point 74. Let's see what it got up to today. At 98.6. I can't believe it just got shy of tried to get to 100. It got close, but it didn't quite make it there in Toms River. I think it makes it there tomorrow, though. 98.6. Wow, that is hot. You can see, look at how hot it was all day. We're in the 90s from like 10:30 to... they didn't go below 90 until after 7 o'clock at night. So, yeah, it's pretty brutal right there. That's what you're dealing with in Toms River. So now let's go and look at the power outage situation, because there's some power outages out there too. Yeah, we got to deal with that too. So let's go to that. JCP&L has 4,421 outages. Not so much in Ocean County, but there were some storms that did cause some issues, power issues. I think these are storm-related. Big outages in Morris County going on. So that's the northern section of JCP&L territory. PSEG Long Island, we have 351 people without power. It's not too bad, but it looks like there is a fairly large outage there at North Newite Park. And again, a lot of these outages are just caused from overloads. But again, it's not too bad considering. And then we go upstate New York. There are a lot of power outages actually upstate due to severe weather. Columbia, 9,119 outages. And Yates County also has some outages too. So, yeah, New York, but there's only some severe weather that did occur upstate. Not so much over an hour area, but if we go upstate, I'm curious if there were any storm reports or anything like that, or is it just from... let's see if there are any storm reports. They did have some severe thunderstorm warnings, so the severe thunderstorms probably help knock out the power over there. I don't really have any details on the severe weather right now up there, but it definitely probably didn't help matters. That's for sure. So let's go look at the models now and see what we get to deal with now. All right. So one more day of this. There's the ridge from hell right there, and then that starts breaking down. We start getting these fronts and showers to come through, and you can see the front gets hung up. Unfortunately, we're going to be dealing with stall front syndrome. See, this high tries to build in. We're going to be dealing with stall front syndrome for at least part of the weekend, but then it might get out of here by Sunday into Monday until we see the ridge from hell build once again as we get to the later part of next week. And then there, it looks like something might form there, but this is far out. I'm not going to go nuts over this far out stuff right now, all right? Got too much in the short term to deal with. Let's go to the HRRR. 0Z. Oh, boy. So we're going to struggle to get below 80 tonight. Probably, if you're not in the, maybe you'll have 70s, but no one's seeing any 60s. And tomorrow, look, another brutal day. I think we do 100 in Jersey tomorrow. We didn't do it today. Well, we did it at Newark, but I think most of New Jersey goes above 100, including Toms River. Yeah, I could see the city getting close to 100 degrees tomorrow. Will be worse than today just because we have that heat to build on. North Shore, Central Nassau, you're going to be dealing with similar temperatures as you dealt with today. Cooler on the South Shore of Suffolk County again. And right on the beach, it'll probably only be in the 70s again. Amazing. That's the place to be, really, right on the beach. You only have to deal with 70s, which is amazing. And then that heat just kind of we got one more day, and then finally it's gone. And then for Thursday, you could see much cooler but showery weather. But it's the humidity will stick around after that. So here is the dew points, and you can see this is the wind flow again. We got that westerly component. However, there is a southerly component that tries to develop more by the afternoon, so hopefully that'll bring some relief for Long Island. Jersey, forget it. But the dew points stay high as we go into Thursday here. It still stays kind of humid as this front gets kind of hung up over us. And that front, again, doesn't really go much of anywhere for a little while. So you can see it gets kind of hung up. Just looking at the dew points, then the drier air may try to work in by Sunday, maybe. But it really doesn't dry out that much. All right, we go look at the temperatures, the temperature trend past Thursday. Here's the GFS again, pretty much mirroring the HRRR. Just a brutal day for tomorrow, and then we see that relief Thursday, Friday. We won't be dealing with the heat anymore, and then for the weekend, we're going to be dealing with that showery weather, unfortunately, and clouds. But I'm not even going to get into the weekend right now. I'm not even going to get into that because there's too much right now to talk about. Because we still have to talk about the thunderstorm threat for tomorrow. Let's go back to the HRRR, please. I don't really want to spend too much time with the GFS. Let's go to the 0Z run and let's look at precipitation because we will have this front getting closer to us tomorrow, and this will bring our next chance of wet weather. And you can see a couple of stray showers actually popping something up overnight over the Long Island Sound. And then for tomorrow, we have sunshine, but then as we get into the evening, we have these showers and thunderstorms develop probably a little more toward 8 o'clock or so, and they can bring... we'll have to see if there's a severe threat with that. I'll have to go to the Severe Storm Center. And you can see for Thursday, we're going to have that lingering shower and possibly thunderstorms, too, developing as well with this front just hanging around, low pressure developing along it. Let's look at the NAM3 as well with this. Go to the 18C run. So here's the NAM3, and same deal. I think we're dry tomorrow, and then we've got to have to watch for those thunderstorms around 8 o'clock or so. Showers and thunderstorms developing with the approach of that cold front, and then we're going to see more of that around Thursday, and it could actually be, with this low, possibly some severe weather over Jersey. And I guess we'll talk more about that tomorrow night because I got my hands full with the heat tonight. So let's go to the Ventus sky here. And we'll look at that thunderstorm threat on the HRRR for tomorrow, shall we? So here we are, 2 o'clock, and there's some cape. There is some cape around here, but again, it's not much of a trigger other than a sea breeze front. Here's 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock. Doesn't look like too impressive with the cape development as far as severity goes for thunderstorms. But, you know, there could be a thunderstorm. Here's tomorrow, 2 o'clock, and you'll see what we're dealing with here. Again, just brutal, close to 100. Of course, better on the South Shore. If you're at the beaches, man, you'll be nice and cool. That's the place to be. We'll zoom in real. You'll get an idea. You see mid-70s at Long Beach, Jones Beach. But the minute you go inland, that air just heats up, and it gets hot quick. And you're going to be dealing with this heat. So tomorrow is probably going to be worse than today if you're inland. If you're on the South Shore, just continue to live it up because that's what you do. And even there, it could even be some upper 60s. So that is going to be the place to be. And we look at the cloud cover. All right, this is way overdone with the cloud cover. That's why I kind of wanted to go back to this and do the cloud cover map here. That model always overdoes the clouds. So we'll use the NAM. It gives you an idea that we're going to have plenty of sun tomorrow, hazy sun, and then some more of those clouds and thunderstorms built toward the evening. Let me go look at the Storm Prediction Center and see what we have for tomorrow. Day 2. Well, we are at a marginal risk, but the main threat is going to be north of our area. But there could be, again, we're going to have to watch it for tomorrow and see. Just because this air is so hot and so humid, and even though I'm not really terribly impressed with the cape on these models, we're going to have to see because there is that threat with this heat and this air mass just so juiced up. Here's what it looks like 5 o'clock. So South Shore, again, is going to be the place to be. Middle of the island. Jersey, forget. You're going to be probably 100 degrees or better from like 11 in the morning to like 5 at night at least, and then 90s. Jersey is really going to die tomorrow. This heat is going to be horrible for Jersey. And this is going to really put a strain on everything and everybody. And it's just that Jersey is even more inhospitable than here. I don't know how anyone can survive there. It really is hell when you have weather pattern like this. But speaking of weather patterns, let's go and look at the West, because actually I want to let's use a different model here. Let's use windy.com. And I want to use this model. Let's go to temperature, because I want to point out something. What's going on here. And this is very alarming. All right, so you'll see this heat in the West. It's backed off a little bit by the coast. But the issue with this, and a lot of people are referring to this as a heat dome, because the jet streams just kind of cut off over here, and you have this huge ridge. The issue is, even if you go up in elevation here, let's go up to 850. It's still hot. It's still, even at 850 millibar, 5,000 feet, you're still at 100 degrees. All right, let's go even higher. Let's go to 55. Let's go to it doesn't really, 55 doesn't really, 180, I think it's 180,000. All right, it seems like we're lacking data here. That's not, all right, we're lacking data. Let's go to 800. I don't know why it's not giving us data. But you can still see, look at how high up we're, 6,400 feet, and still 100 degrees. That's insane. Actually, no, 82. This thing's not working correctly. All right. So, one of the points is the temperatures aloft are very warm. Right? Maybe vent to sky would work better with this. But the temperatures aloft are very warm. Let's go up to 700. So this is 3,000 meters. 63. Right? This is 3,000 meters. I think it's 100,000 feet. I don't know. This goes by meters. I wish it wouldn't go by meters. But here we are at 600 MB. 45. So look at how far you have to go for it to be below freezing. And that's a big problem for the mountains, because the mountains, for instance, we can look at Mount Rainier, for instance, all right? Now we can put Mount Rainier in here. Let's do that. Which is one of the highest mountains in Washington, all right? And elevation is 1,400 feet, all right? All right, I see it uses feet. All right, so this is the issue. That freaking site doesn't use feet, so I have to go. All right, so this is it's 4,392 meters. All right, so now we have to go at 4,392 meters. Let's go up to here. Let's see. All right, this is around there. So it's above freezing, and this is a problem because a lot of the mountaintops are above freezing in this range. And when above freezing temperature, and this is the very tip of the mountain, all right, a lot of these mountain sites that are at the top of mountains are very warm, all right? I mean, if you go to 6,400 feet, it's in the 80s, all right? So the height of a lot of the mountain areas where there's supposed to be snow is well above freezing, and this is a big problem. All right, this site doesn't really do such a great job illustrating the temperature at a height. This is, again, 5,000 feet. All right, so it's very high. It's very warm aloft as well as at the surface. So that is very bad for the mountains and the mountainous areas up there. Very warm indeed. And I don't know if there are any observatories in the Cascades here, for instance. That would help give us some information here. But it's very, very alarming to see this kind of heat at this high up in not just altitude, because it's going way up. Not just latitude, because it's going way up into Canada, but also altitude as well. When you look at the altitude of these areas, the temperatures even on the tops of these mountains are very warm. And it would be very interesting to see some observations from these mountains. Not sure where they are. Some of these sites might be mountains here. Let's see if doesn't really give us a, let's see, elevation. It doesn't give us, altitude. This is 2,000 feet. This site here is saying 3,000 feet, and it is 82 degrees at 3,000 feet. Let's see. There's another place called Trail. Let's see. This is at 1,300. That's not that high, but I'm just curious this we get some high mountaintop observations here. I'm trying to see. Here's Enterprise. Let's see what this is at. This is at 3,739 feet, and they are reporting 80s. So again, 80s and 70s for mountain areas is very warm, and there's supposed to be ice up there, so that's all going to be melting. Are going to be losing a lot of water, and this is a big issue that's going on. Actually, I want to Google, so let's just do that because that's kind of important. Melt. Let's do mountain temps, Washington State. All right, so we go mountain temps, Washington State. We can go up here. All right, all right, that's Mount Washington Cascades. Let's see. Here's a weather forecast for this mountain here. So let's see what they are at. Here we go. Today, they got up to 90 degrees, 77. It will cool down, but they are well above freezing. And this is a big problem because there's supposed to be snow up on the top of these mountains. So it's going to be melting, and that's bad because then we're losing ice. In the mountains, we're losing glaciers, and this is very, very alarming. And that will raise the sea level quite a bit. So very unusual to see the warmth spread not just far up into Canada like this, but also in altitude. It's really very alarming and very, very worrying. Let me go to Earth Null School because the air quality obviously is an issue as well. So we're going to go look at our pollution, one of our pollution index here, which is the carbon monoxide. Because I'm sure, it's very bad here. Yep. Very bad air quality, once again, for us. Not surprisingly, when you got this kind of air mass in place. Let's see what else we can discuss here. News 12. So, I don't want to make a separate video, so we're just going to go right now to it, because she is ridiculous. Of course, they're all over the South Shore, all right? That's no surprise. But even their weather forecasts here to the South Shore, and this is a big problem.
Hot, muggy,
so, Samantha Ojiri.
Day 2 of these brutal temps.
So when do we get some relief? Meteorologist
Listen to
Samantha
her.
Ojiri has the answer.
Listen to her.
Sam.
We'll get that relief Thursday into Friday, but at that point we'll be tracking some rain. So one more day of hot and humid conditions coming up tomorrow. Right now it still feels like 100 degrees on the North Shore. Our temperatures are falling a little bit as we head in, but still the electric heat index 88 in West Hampton. Around for another day.
So listen to this woman.
It's been a popular
she has no
spot
business
near
doing the weather.
breeze.
All right.
It does feel much better, mostly clear overnight. Yeah,
It's always the South Shore.
And once that sun comes up, we're rising.
This is why they should call themselves New South.
Forecast, one of the hottest spots once again, Kings Point, Blossom Road, feel more lower. So really hot. There could be a scattered chance.
She was on TV saying highs in the upper 80s to around 90 for tomorrow.
Cloudy, warm and humid, 78.
Upper 80s to around 90 for the South Shore, maybe, not for the rest of us.
80 from Great Neck to Woodmere, and you'll see those numbers go up at 3 o'clock. We have 90s.
Those temperatures are way too cool. Nescons, it's going to be in the 90s.
South Shore and East End.
South Shore again. It's so obvious who they gear to, and I don't want to make a separate video about it. I really don't. It's a lot of misinformation, and it's dangerous to have such misinformation. People are saying, upper 80s to around 90 on Long Island. That's for the South Shore. If you're in Mineola, if you're in the middle of Nassau County, you're in Northwest Suffolk, you're going to be in the 90s. All right, and it's going to feel like it's over 100 degrees. This is misinformation, all right? And that is something, actually, the FCC could possibly fine News 12 over, because if they provide misinformation. Because they still say they're News 12 Long Island, but they really should say they're News 12 South Shore, because that's what they gear to. Even the weather doesn't gear to us. So we are watching some tropical activity as well that we're going to have to keep an eye on as well. But very, very interesting with the heat going on here, all right? The heat wave, and you can just put Canada heat wave, all right? And it's breaking news, and it's breaking records. Dozens dead, because a lot of people don't have air conditioning. 118 degrees, record temperature of over 100, and let's see, it says police warn of deaths. So this is what's going on in Canada. It's very unusual. They don't have air conditioning in a lot of these places. It's never supposed to get this hot. All right? It's never supposed to get this hot. And there's going to be flooding because glaciers are melting. This is climate chaos. And you can see here, it's being blamed on a heat dome. All right? Air conditioning is not standard in British Columbia. And this is the problem. People are having trouble finding air conditioners and stuff. So this is very, very serious situation here. Very serious. 230 deaths. 230 people died in British Columbia. So this is really scary and actually very upsetting. And because I'm somebody who can't take the heat, and and the world is getting warmer exponentially faster, and I just don't know how I'm going to deal with it, especially living where I'm living, because we don't get relief here. That's why I might have to, going and having to live on the South Shore in the future may be a matter of survival. I don't care what this certain demographic thinks, all right? But I'm going to die here in this kind of heat, all right? It keeps getting hotter and hotter and hotter. It's just, this is dangerous kind of heat, and people die from it. All right, especially if you're sensitive to it. So it's not a joke. It's very serious, and it's only going to get worse. And again, you have glacier. I'm going to put the word glacier up here because here's another thing. So lots of articles out there. You can just Google it up here. All right. Linden, BC set an all-time record. All right. So this is, of course, they give temperatures in Celsius, but this is very concerning. Is this the new normal? That's right. This is the new normal, folks. Forget about the new normal with the virus. This virus is nothing, and I wish people would stop. Look, all right. I'm not saying it's nothing. All right, but the real threat to humanity isn't this virus, it's climate change. All right, look at all the people that just died in British Columbia from the heat. That's probably more than the virus. All right? So, and this heat ain't going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. We look at the long-range models. We can look at, let's go back to that windy.com site, all right? And I'm going to pull this out, and you're going to see that this heat isn't going anywhere. And then we'll wrap up this weather update. So this is the heat right here, all right? Keep your eyes on this heat dome, all right? And this heat dome is all due to the jet stream. And we can look at the jet stream on this as well. So let's show you the jet stream here. Where is the jet stream? Look at this. Look at the jet stream going all the way into the Arctic. And this jet stream is a complete mess. And the reason why this jet stream is a complete mess is because of the warming of the Arctic. And every time it's warmer, the warmer it gets in the high latitudes, the less of a difference between the high latitudes and the low latitudes, the tropics. And that difference is what fuels the jet stream. So we see the complete breakdown of the jet stream. We see all chaos break loose. And that's what we're seeing. So we go back down to the surface and we look at the temperature here. And you see how far north the warmth extends. And they've also had a lot of heat in Siberia too, by the way. So, like I said, maybe this is the year we're going to see the Blue Ocean event. I think we have a good chance of it. 78. All right, so very warm, even way up in places it's not supposed to be this warm. All right, so we take this, and you got to remember, and the sun doesn't set in a lot of these areas. Look at how far the heat extends. Here we are, Wednesday, 5 p.m. So this heat ain't going anywhere. Look at it; just shifts a little further east, further into Canada. Thursday, Friday. Look at this. Look at how hot it is. This far north, 90s. I mean, this is insane. Here we go. Let's move it to Saturday. You can see it's starting to move east and east. Here it is. Here's Saturday. Sunday. Monday. This is based on the European model. Finally, we start to see it push, but then it gets pushed into our area next week. So we're going to have to watch that. Obviously, I'm not, like I said, I don't really talk about the long range. I'm just saying we're going to see some, and it's still very hot in the north. Very hot. We're not supposed to be this warm at all in these areas. Not even if we go into these islands in the Arctic here. 58 degrees. Oh, come on. It's not supposed to be that warm ever. All right? That's insanity. All right? And that's what's extremely alarming about this whole thing going on right now. And this is why it is a climate emergency that we are in. Oh, and I can change the model. I can go to the GFS. Because we know the Euros actually had a pretty bad track record with things. So actually, I shouldn't even be looking at that model. I should be looking at the GFS. So we can track the heat. All right, Wednesday, Thursday, you can see the heat right there. Friday, not going anywhere. Saturday, still over Canada. Sunday, it just shifts east. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you can see it building again. Look at that. So more heat. Look at that. 108 in South Dakota. It's insanity. This is a climate emergency. That's it. Thanks for watching.